Hey, it's John with South Austin Life. Finally doing a race report on Ironman Lake Placid, my first triathlon that I did into July. Overall, it was an absolutely incredible, amazing experience, and I can't get over just the whole everything involved it was amazing. So I'll start off when we first got there. When we first got to Lake Placid, the area is beautiful. I've never been to that part of the country. It's absolutely breathtaking. I was expecting it to be pretty. I wasn't prepared for how pretty it really was. The city, Lake Placid, when we got there, there was a vibe there. I mean, all along the roads, everywhere, there were people running and biking, getting their workouts in, getting ready for the race in a couple of days. And there was just this energy, this atmosphere in the town of a lot of people focused and just casually going about the business of trying to do their best at an awesome thing. And it was infectious. You couldn't not feel it. First thing we did Friday when we got into town was went to go get my register and get my stuff for the race, the little bags and stickers and all of that stuff, and picked up I rented a bike. I have an old road bike that I train on, and I didn't want to mess with going up there, and as it turned out, there was not enough gears to get up those mountains on my old road bike. So I rented a Cervelo P Series, and it was awesome. It's the first time I've ever ridden a triathlon bike, and I want one real bad now. So Friday was check-in, and I went for a shakeout ride on the tri-bike just to get a feel for it. Saturday was another ride and a swim. They had Mirror Lake open to where you could go, and the buoys were already out there. You could go swim as much as you wanted to, and I did just a 20-minute shakeout, get a feel for the open water, and took the bike to transition, got everything ready to go. So race morning, Sunday, we got up early. It was raining. It was about 63 degrees, and there were shuttles to go to the swim start into transition. I needed to go to transition first and then to swim start. I won't go into all the details, but it didn't help my pre-race anxiety at all. So got to the swim start, was ready to go, and that pre-race anxiety was hitting hard. I was really thinking, there's no way I can do this. How do I get out of this? I literally thought I wasn't even going to make it through the swim. And, we got closer and closer. They were letting people go in waves. And the closer I got to the chute to go through to get into the water, the more freaked out I got. But there was Mike Riley right there at the arch that you go through to start the swim, giving out high fives, and that man's magic. I got a high five from him, felt better, got in the water, and still not doing good. And it took me about 1,000 yards, and then I finally found my rhythm and my flow and started feeling good. And at that point, I was just going buoy to buoy. I didn't know how many buoys there were. I didn't know how many I'd been past, but I knew that the next one is where I needed to go, and that's where I went. I get to that one, go on to the next one. So got through the swim, and I look at my watch. It was the first time I had any clue of what time it was, and I was quite a bit faster than I had hoped to be, so that was good. Of course, I lost all that time in transition. Just first time doing anything like that, in real life. I'd done transitions in practice, but it's not the same. And the conditions were different than what I had practiced. So it took me a little while to get everything together and get on the bike. The rain had stopped halfway through the swim, but the roads were still wet. So for the first part, getting through town, I was being pretty careful. But once we got out onto the road, I was able to get going pretty good and just felt fantastic. It was 2 loops. The first loop, it was still very cool and felt great, and just enjoying the scenery, the mountains, the rivers going along the roads, and just getting in that aero position on the downs and the flats, and really getting going pretty fast. And it was just a lot of fun. I had the biggest, dumbest smile on my face. Just absolutely fantastic. And then even what they call the 3 bears, the nasty hills for the last 10 miles or so. I just took it pretty conservatively going up the hills, and still felt really good at the end of the first loop. Second loop, was able to go faster because the roads were dry, and still was just feeling awesome. Then it started to warm up. Around mile 90 is when I started to feel tired, and but previous to that, the furthest I had gone was 75 miles on a bike. So all in all, I was really happy with that. So I got up the 3 bears again, and it was tougher this time because I was tired and because it was a little warmer outside. But just felt awesome the whole time, just having just an absolute blast. So got to transition, changed into my running stuff, went out on the run, and that's where things weren't so awesome anymore. The first 5 miles I was doing okay, but then stuff just started to hurt. And so every time I took a running step, there was, just my muscles were just in pain, around my ribs, my quads. So I did a lot more walking than I intended to, but still mentally, I was very positive the entire event. And that's something that really resonated with me, that in everything that I've done, every other endurance event that I've done that's a long ultra endurance thing, I'll always go to this emotionally, mentally very dark place at some point. Sometimes it lasts a long time, sometimes I go there lots of times, but I've always gone there at least for a little bit, at least once. And on this day, I was 2 hours slower than my wow, this would be awesome goal, and I still stayed positive and was just having a blast the entire time. I got to the last mile, and of course it was dark. It was 2 hours past where I wanted to be, and it was all uphill for the last probably quarter to a half mile, I guess, I don't know. But I was going to run the last mile, and I ran it slow, but then when you got into town and got into those hills, getting closer to the finish line, the crowd was amazing, just cheering everybody on, and you couldn't not run because they were just giving you so much energy. And the hitting that red carpet and hearing Mike Riley's voice calling everybody else across the finish line and telling them that they're an Ironman, and it was just fantastic. And I picked up my pace a little bit, and got across, and I heard him call my name, and
John Graham, Austin, Texas. Whether good or done, John, you are an Ironman.
Call me an Ironman, and it was just an amazing feeling. And so it was a blast. And even at the end of that, I was thinking, you know what, I don't know that I need to do this again. A half distance triathlon sounds like that would be pretty fun, pretty reasonable. But within a couple of days, I was already thinking, well, both of my transitions were bad. I could take 20 minutes off my time in transition if I did a little bit. You start doing that. So it won't be soon, but I will definitely be doing another full distance triathlon in the future. It may be year after next, but just because of timing and the training was a huge time commitment. And I knew it would be, but I still underestimated the time involved in training for something like this. It was a lot, and that more than the actual event itself is why I'm not rushing back in to go out and, okay, I can do 3 hours better if I do this, this, and this. I'm going to go do it next week. So, yeah, that was a quick recap, quick race report. There's, I could talk for hours about it, but for this, that's about all I've got for today. And so thanks for stopping by. Bye.